Hello dear friends, welcome back. Friends, this was our previous lecture regarding the osteocyte cell. Now let us discuss about the osteoblast cell. So this was a little bit introduction of the connective tissue that I did in the previous lecture. Now we are discussing about each type of cell of the connective tissue in separate lecture. So osteocyte, now we discuss about the osteoblast cell. Right, so look carefully friends. In the previous lecture also I told you the difference between the cyte and the blast, and I hope you have learned the difference between cyte and blast in in a clear way. I'm sorry, I have a little bit problem with my pharynx. Look carefully. What are osteoblasts? Osteoblasts are the cells of the bone which are always producing the mass of the bone, which are always producing the ground substance and the fibers for the bone, right? So they are the mature cells. Sometimes the students call them, these are the immature cells. No friends, this definition is quite wrong about the immaturity and maturity. The most suitable definition for these type of cells is that these are the cells which are always producing ground substance and fibers for the tissue, right? So they are let me change it. They are always producing fibers and ground substance or matrix, right? Ground substance or matrix for the bone. And you know the fibers are of three types: fibers, elastic fibers, reticular fibers and collagen fibers, and the ground substance is made up of GAGs and protoglycans and glycoproteins. So I have already told you about these, right? So the ground substance and the fibers are produced by these osteoblast cells, and the cyte cells do not do or perform that function. What is the shape of these cells? These osteoblasts in the bone, they may be cuboidal shape, or they may be columnar shape. So their shape may be, let me draw here their diagram. They are certainly they may be like cuboidal shaped cells, like this. Cuboidal means they have all sides equal to each other, and they may be columnar shaped cells. So columnar shape means their length is a little bit more than the width of the cell. So they may be like this. So they may be columnar shape or they may be cuboidal shape, right friends? Then what is their number? How many osteoblasts do we have in our body? You know, here I told you 42 billion cells. And what is their number? So the books say that there are 25,000 osteoblasts per cubic millimeter of the bone, right? So there are about 25,000 cells per cubic millimeter, right? The cubic millimeter of bone. Done. So this was their number. Then what is their lifespan, right? For how many days these cells are working, and then they become, they don't die, they become then osteocytes. So after how many days do they lose the capability of producing all these fibers and ground substance? So this is the other definition for this. So their lifespan is about 12 days, friends. So after 12 days, these osteoblasts will be converted to osteocytes and new osteoblasts will be formed, right? Then what after lifetime, we say that from what they are derived from, right? So again I will say that these are derived from the mesenchymal cell, from the stem cells, or we say osteoprogenitor cells, right? So they are derived from mesenchymes, And about mesenchymes, I have told you in the previous lecture, please watch that, and they are derived from the stem cells of the bone tissue, stem cells of the bone tissue, right friends. What is their location? Look, we are coming like that. What is their location? So about the osteocyte, I had told you that they are located in the lacunae of the concentric rings, but about the osteoblasts, they are not located in that area. Where are they located? Look carefully. I will draw a bone here, then I will tell you something. For example, friends, this is a very, very smart bone, right? He is happy because we are discussing about this bone, right? Around this bone, right, look, here is a medullary cavity also. So let me draw a little bit larger bone. Like this, right? So he is now very happy. We have endowed it. Here is a cavity inside this shaft of this bone, and this cavity is called the marrow cavity or the medullary cavity of this bone. And now look, around this bone there is a membrane which is called the periosteum. Around this bone there is a connective tissue membrane, and this membrane is called the periosteum. And look, periosteum means around the bone, and same membrane is present in this medullary cavity, and here we call it the endosteum, right? Here we call it the endosteum. Okay, so this is a protective membrane. So this membrane is called periosteum. Now if I enlarge this area, and we will see that, so for example, this is your periosteum, right? And this is the space between both of them, and this is the bone, right? This is the bone. So look, the osteoblasts are present here. These are columnar shape, or we say a cuboidal shape. So osteoblasts are mostly present here, right? So we say that these cells are present in the periosteum. Periosteum. So their location is in periosteum, right friends. Then the next important feature of these cells is their size. What is the size of these osteoblasts? Very easily, the size is from 20 to 50 micrometer, right? Look at the difference. These cells, osteocytes, are a little bit smaller. Osteoblasts are a little bit larger. Why? Because they are always producing these fibers and ground substance. So it means that whenever you are working more, you should have a full stomach, right? So whenever your stomach is full, your belly will come out and you will walk like this, right? So you are a little bit larger. So their size is a little bit larger. Why? Because they are always producing, their factory is always working, so they are producing fibers and ground substances, right friends. And what is their function? Functions of osteoblasts. Oh, very important. Their function is mostly producing the bone mass or the bone formation. They are always forming the bone. So this is very important function for these cells, right friends. So right now we discussed about the osteoblast and osteocyte. So these were the two types of cells of the bone which are present in your bone, and then there is another type of cell also that is called the osteoclast, and that is a little bit another thing which we say that is immune cell, and the monocyte which comes to the bone and they remain there, so they become the osteoclast cells. So those are those cells which will corise the bone and which will eat the bone, and they will decrease the mass of the bone. So we are not discussing about those cells, right? Those are the not the permanent cells of the bone tissue. So we say osteocyte and osteoblast. So this is the detail, a little bit detail of the osteocyte, a little bit detail of the osteoblast. Now in the next lecture we will go towards the chondrocyte and chondroblasts.